be too much heat. So the elaborate plan that we came up with was that they would all go to the craps table in couples and pairs, whatever, and they would buy their chips from the craps tables, and then they would show a lot of high action, but without losing any money. Now, how did we do that? In craps, you have the two main bets, so the pass line bet and the don't pass line bet. Now, when one wins, the other loses, except when the shooter rolls 12. When the shooter rolls 12, the pass line loses, and the don't pass line pushes instead of wins. So in order to protect us against that eventuality of double sixes, right, one of the players would have to put $10 or $15 on double sixes, a one roll bet where that pays 30 to 1. So that would cover the loss on the don't pass side when it came up. So we could more or less do a perfect offset in combinations, like, well, you know, three people could bet $500 on the pass line, and then the other people bet the same amount of money scattered on the don't pass line, and then somebody covers the double sixes, and then everything's covered, and we could lose $5 or $10 a roll, right? But we're showing these guys as you know, betting 500 and 1,000 every hand. So this would set them up as credible high rollers, and they would play at the craps table for, you know, 20, 25 minutes before they even hit the baccarat table. So once they hit the baccarat table, they were already established as high rollers. So there wouldn't be any heat them starting on the baccarat table where the money was going to come off. So this was, you know, this was the good plan. Now, to fix the cards up themselves, I had to fix up 7 winning hands for the player side. How do I do it? Okay. In those days, the baccarat shuffle was completely different. There were no automatic card shuffles, right? So what you did, right, there's a stack of 8 decks of cards, like this high if you lay them on the table, right? So the first procedure in baccarat was called the dealing procedure, and the shuffling procedure was called the wash, where you took all the cards, you laid them on the table, and you started spreading them around face up, and they called that a wash, like you were washing them. Some people call the shuffle a wash, especially older generations. Like, so you're washing the cards. So I figured as I'm washing the cards, I can scoop up 7 hands in a row, right, following the order that can't be changed once they're in the shoe, and I could protect them by doing what's called a false shuffle. And the scam that I did later became known internationally in the business as the baccarat false shuffle scam. So I'm washing them and I'm fixing up the hands, right? And I can protect them and then do a false shuffle, right? And then at the end, there was a procedure that they did in the old days with baccarat called the lace. It was a European procedure before the dealer put the cards in the shoe, right? He took the bottom 1 deck stack off the 8 and then laced them through like a splicing through the total of the other 7 stacks. And then the lace cards would be sticking up, and then the dealer would push them down, and so everything was smooth, and then put them in the shoe. And this was a really fancy procedure. So I just had to be careful that when I did the lacing, I didn't lace through that top 40 or 50 cards that I had, which was the fixed cards. So I would do that. And then the burn card procedure, which is very important in baccarat dealing, is the way they burn the cards. Like in blackjack, they usually burn 1 card. The dealer finishes shuffling or takes the cards out of the card shuffler today and burns 1 card and puts it in a discard rack and then deals. In baccarat, it's different. The dealer turns over the first card out of the shoe and then burns that many more cards and then puts those cards into the tray for the dump cards, right? So now, if you turn over like a 6, then the dealer has to burn 6 more cards and put them in the slot on the table where the dump cards go, right?